So we're back in the in-betweens. The episodes that fit in between seasons as we prepare for our next experience of Through the Looking Glass podcast. The topics here are ones that will take you down the rabbit hole, not knowing where we're going to end up. But one thing's for sure, you'll enjoy it. So let's get started. Hey, everybody, welcome back to our next episode in the In-Betweens. This is our series, our mini-series in between our seasons. If you have been following, our season 4 drops 8/08, so less than a month. I'm excited because we got some really interesting things coming on board. One thing I'm really passionate about is the merging of a true crime type of miniseries into a relationship pod, Wonderland After Dark, where we're going to be looking at dark psychology and how it impacts relationships and some actual true crime stories that illustrate how that looks like in a real life situation. But before we get into this topic this evening, we have a special guest. And I went ahead and stalked him through the webs, and I begged him to come on, and he graciously accepted. So, Tim, I want you to tell everybody, tell the listeners who you are, about your platform, and just a little bit about you, or a lot about. Depends on what you want to say.
Yeah, everybody. This Tim, host of Real Talk with Tim podcast, where I talk about love, life, and relationships. Basically, anything involving life, anything involving love, anything about any type of relationship. It don't necessarily have to be, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, nothing like that. I could be talking about siblings, mother, father, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I'm currently in season 3, just a few episodes shy of the end of the season. Like I said, y'all can find me you can find me on Twitter too at RTWT podcast and Instagram Real Talk with Tim. You know what I'm saying? Just catch up with the episodes. I'm on Apple, Spotify, iHeart, Google Podcasts, all of that. So
He's
you can
everywhere.
catch me everywhere.
And he has some really complimentary topics. So if you are rocking with us over in Wonderland, you're definitely going to be vibing over with Tim. So I'm happy that he agreed to come on. Hopefully this won't be the last time. And we really are going to jump into this conversation. But before we do, let's do a mental health check starting with Chris. Chris, how you been?
I've been all right. I don't like the way you laugh when you introduce me. It's all good. You know me. You know me. I always keep it the same. I'm just chilling.
Mm, we can tell by your mic. And Keisha, how you been, Keisha? What's going on?
Well, hello. I am doing great. I'm a little exhausted today. I am planning a big birthday weekend bash. So I'm doing excellent. Chris, I
Yeah.
wish you could come. You're so far away. And I
Yeah,
guess
yeah.
wish you can come too, but I know you're
Yeah.
not in the area.
I've been checking y'all IG posts and y'all been out, man. Michelle, the so-called introvert who don't go out, you be having her all out in them streets.
Well, listen, she gonna be on 100 this weekend. She don't even know some of the things that we got.
I hope she
We got
well rested.
some special guests for tomorrow night. And she don't even have no idea.
It better not be no strippers, dude.
It sounds a little X-rated.
Oh, it is.
Oh,
So as you can see, we just closed out Chris's Gemini season and jumped right into Cancer season with Keisha.
Gemini gang.
Oh no, no!
Yeah.
Podcast is closed, and this concludes this episode.
You ain't alone, Chris. You ain't alone, brother.
Wow, we are bookcased with 2 Geminis. This should be interesting.
Yes, and 2 water signs. Yeah.
Yep. So it's a hurricane. It's a hurricane tonight. And how have you been, Tim? How's your week been?
Oh, my week been pretty good. Just trying to lay out the remaining 2 episodes of my season, so I can go ahead and take this little break. I actually can't wait until the season over, to be honest, so I can go back to the lab. Don't rush nothing out. I got time to lay out episodes and all that type of stuff. Right now, it's just kind of I have episodes written down and But right now I'm deciding on which ones I want to roll over to the next season or which ones I want to put out now because some are bigger than others. So like, I don't know.
And a lot of people don't really understand unless you're a creative, unless you are a podcaster. It takes a lot of work. It is you don't just throw a mic on and start talking. Like you have to
Oh
plan
yeah.
out your. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, I've talked about that a few times in a few episodes. I just say, look, a lot of people actually do talk as if they're a podcaster, saying on the phones or in person or something when you having kickbacks and stuff like that. But it's different when you trying to like be professional with it and create it and put it out for the world to listen to, and you want that quality to be there. You want a certain type of verbiage, you know what I'm saying? When you getting on here talking, you want to attract certain people. You got to put the right topics that'll grab attention.
Right.
And not even just the topic, you got to back it up with the talking points and all that. So like
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot.
And that's why when we took our little break, like getting back into the recording schedule, it's a lot of work. So, and we're not trying to say people who are thinking about it don't do it, but if you want to put quality out, you got to put time in. Like
the
number one thing that I say,
the number one thing that I say about podcasting is very time consuming. That's the worst thing about it because life can get in the way. A lot of us got kids. A lot of us got a lot of us full-time parents. You know what I'm saying? We got work, come home, do this, do that, get this done before we can go have our me time and record. So that's the worst part about it, the time.
It's time.
You know what I'm saying?
When you got to edit and cut stuff out and make sure your audio sounds straight, Chris.
And a lot of people don't even edit though. That's the crazy thing about it. I edit faithfully.
Yeah, me and
I done been
Adobe
on a lot
Edition.
of video calls and people done left and came back because their connection was messed up. So I would cut that whole thing out. Then when you go listen to the show, it's like it never happened.
That's right.
Yeah.
A lot of things on here act like it never happens. We just edit it right out. I'm throwing shots early. I'm sorry. So
that's a little bit TMI. You like pulling back the curtain. People don't need to know all that.
It keeps them interested. I'm saying.
You airing out dirty laundry. Like you don't need to tell people all that stuff.
I'm not the one voting people off the island.
Well, I'm not perfect, but I'm damn near perfect.
Yeah.
That's
what we got. That's what we got.
That's strong.
That's what we got.
All right.
Early.
You come here for what? A good time, not a long time, right?
There we go. No, I'm here for a good time.
I hate your mic. I hate it. Okay, so we're gonna jump right in. Let's talk about loyalty. We're gonna start with Tim. When somebody says loyalty, what is that to you? What does that look like to you by definition, and what does that look like to you in behaviors?
Loyalty to me, it just means that you riding with me till the wheels fall off, no matter what situation we in, no matter what, you got my back and I got your back, no matter what. And when we in certain situations, you know what I'm saying, certain situations are gonna prove your loyalty. And I ain't really, that's a strong word. That's almost like the word love. Like you tell somebody you love them, you better mean that shit. If you tell somebody you loyal to them, you better mean it.
Right.
Because once you lose, no, respect. I forgot to mention respect. Once you cross the line, once you lose my respect, and once I see that you're not loyal, nah, that's a wrap. We ain't really got nothing else to discuss after that.
Would you still interact with that person?
Nah, if you don't have no loyalty, you don't need to be around me because it's like you fake. You will backstab me in a heartbeat. Yeah, if you don't have loyalty, that means that person, they just don't care about. They don't care about you. They'll backstab you in a minute.
Yeah, I agree. And Keisha, what about you? What's your definition of loyalty, and what does that look like?
Loyalty is kind of almost to me on the same level of love. When you love someone and you're in a relationship, you're committed. Loyalty among friends, it doesn't matter what's up. You have that person back, and You're going to be true to that person. You're going to be honest, regardless if they like your honesty, accept it or not. You know, that's how I look at loyalty. You're going to do what you say you're going to do. You're going to be a person of your word.
Right. And Chris, what's your definition, or what does it look like to you?
I think loyalty, instead of looking like something, it's more so how it feels.
Okay. Can you go a little bit deeper with that?
I mean, it's just like, I mean, you feel it. It's like you can't explain it. Like you can't explain like, hey, I'm loyal. It's no one can explain like, hey, I'm loyal to you. It's all about how they feel. It's how the other person feel and how you feel towards the person. And you can show like different actions of loyalty, but I mean, sometimes it can be like empty acts.
Yeah, I mean, let's look at loyalty like commitment. You know what I'm saying? Like you committed to something or somebody. You know what I'm saying? If you can't, it's just like a relationship for real, for real. I mean, if you can't commit to this friendship we have or this relationship we have, then what you here for?
Yeah, no, yeah, I can feel. Yep, I mean that's exactly what it is. So it's like, I mean, you know when someone's loyal to you, and you can kind of know when you're loyal to somebody else. But it's all about is the feeling mutual?
Can you be loyal to a fault?
Can you be loyal to a fault? Yeah, I think you can. I think you could be loyal to a fault.
Because my brother tells me that all the time. I'm fiercely loyal, but sometimes it's to a fault. And when I talk about loyalty, kind of highlighting everything you all said, it's knowing that that person is 100% honest and has your back. Like in the military, we say check your six. Like, you know, no matter where you're going, that person has your best interest, right? Um, but what does that look like? So we said you can be loyal to a fault. Being loyal to the wrong person, what type of damage could that do for the individual? Not the one who, what, you know, when you're loyal to the wrong person is going to do what that person does. But can't that tarnish your trust? Because loyalty has to come with an amount of trust, right?
Yeah. That's just like I said in a relationship. That's just like being cheated on your whole damn life. You know what I'm saying? You can't really trust like that. That makes okay. So like I don't know who's single and who not in here, but like that's like for a majority of the dating pool, right? Like majority of people are single. Like a lot of people single and they have trust issues and they don't believe what people say because they probably been told stuff like I'm not doing nothing or I'm not a cheater or I'm not lying to you. They probably been told stuff like that before, but then you know what I'm saying, turn around, it'd be the opposite. So now when they meet new people, it's like you saying the same thing this person said. My last girlfriend told me this, or my last boyfriend told me that. So like, you know what I'm saying? It's just the same thing. It's the same thing.
So how when you are a trusting individual, when we're talking about being loyal, do you kind of keep that in check? Because you don't want everybody paying for what somebody else did to you, but you don't want to
No,
go back
you
into that
just
situation of falling back into being loyal to the wrong person either.
no, you just walk around. You don't have to be too guarded, but you just walking like you walking on needles. You know, you just got to be careful with people. Like don't open up as much to people. You know what I'm saying? Don't be as much as an open book as you was in the past because that ain't do nothing but get you backstab or get you hurt in the end. Like some people wear they hot on their sleeve. Like you can't just every new person you meet, you can't be the same. Like for a woman, you can't be the same woman to every man because the last 5 men that you were, the type of woman that you was to the last 5 men, ain't get you nowhere. So now you gotta move different. Now you gotta not be as open. Now you gotta watch closely. Have your guard up. Have your guard up longer than you used to. You know what I'm saying? Cause just watch them closely. But you can't really go around saying, I don't trust you, I don't trust you, I don't trust you. Cause then you're gonna be miserable your whole life. You're gonna be old in a wheelchair with a cat. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to do all that.
If
Just
you
be
own a cat
careful.
out there,
Just
it's
just
okay.
just be more careful the more and more you know what I'm saying, move on. That's all.
And what do you think about that, Keisha? About the whole be a different person to the new people? Because I can't do it. Like I'm so who I am. I'm literally
Um,
going to give the same to everybody I meet. And it's just kind of like, if somebody screws me over, they're going to get it back, believe me. But I got to keep moving forward.
I guess I kind of feel two different ways about that. One, if you're going to be somebody different for the next person, you may be making that person pay for what the last person did. I guess I would be a little cautious not to make the new person pay for what the last person did. But on the other side of that, I can see being more aware. You know, when you move on to the next relationship, being aware of your errors, because I think in any relationship, regardless of how it ends, everybody plays a role. And I think everybody have areas where, you know, they're doing things right. And then they have some areas where, you know, they fall short. And a lot of times people don't want to identify them, but they're there. So I think, just to add to what you were saying, just to kind of be cautious as you move forward, but make sure you're not making that last person pay for, you know, what that other person put you through.
But you know what though, when you do be, even if you do be more cautious and all of that stuff, all that is good, right? But sometimes people want you to move at their pace. Like, let's just say I meet a girl and she's moving at a different pace than I am. She's ready to, man, she's just ready to do everything. She's ready to be so committed, so want to move in, so baby this, getting married at this age, you know what I'm saying? She want to do all of this stuff, right? But if I tell her in return, you know, I had my fair share of heartbreaks, I'm trying to move slow, you know what I'm saying? I'm moving slower than what she's moving. So she may think that I'm being guarded, but I'm not being, I mean, I'm not intentionally making her pay. You know what I'm saying? I'm not intentionally making her pay, but she may feel like she's paying for it because I'm not moving at her pace.
Gotcha.
She may be reading it the wrong way. Like, in order for her to feel like she not paying for it, I gotta move. I would have to move at her pace in order for her not to feel like she paying for it.
Or just have communication.
Or yeah, just communicate that. But how long is there a time period on this?
I don't feel like it's a time period on that type of stuff, man. That stuff just comes like.
Yeah,
you know
that's the thing I was gonna say. Like, I mean, I think more so far as guys don't work under timelines or time frames. Like, hey, in 2 months I want to be here, in 6 months I want to be here. I think
Why
that's
not?
more so women. I just don't know. Women like to have everything sketched out. Far as hey,
yeah,
in a week I want to be here, 4 weeks, in a month be here. 3 months down the road, be here, 6 months, a year. A guy's like, hey, this is what I want to do. And they put that goal out there. And then when I want to go and get it, I'm going to go get it. And there's no time frame. And I think that's sometimes the biggest issue when you talk about men and women dealing with each other, because it's like, we both want the same thing, but how we go about it.
I'm being triggered.
But how we go
that's
about
one
it.
Of those, that's one of those things that's unexplainable.
Yeah, I mean, I can't explain it because it's not. I don't like.
So
to say,
I'm supposed to sit in the cut for 9 years until you get your junk together.
No, oh hell no.
Nah, that's just too long.
No, hell no.
But y'all said there was no time. Y'all saying there's no time limit though.
So is this? Are you referring to titles, Chris? I mean, are you referring, and Tim, are you referring to the title of girlfriend, or are you?
Yes.
I mean,
I'm talking as far as titles. Like, my whole thing is.
So
I'm talking about. I'm talking about everything though.
Huh?
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking about as far as like, as far as speaking as a male, I'm talking far as like relationships, career aspirations, personal goals, anything like that. Most men aren't going to put, hey, well, I want to be here by the time I'm 25, or I want to be doing this by 30 or 35 and everything. So we're not going to define that because we don't want to put those restraints on us. Because what happens if we put a goal out there and we want to be at a certain point by 25? and now we've turned 25 and we're not there.
Hustle
Now we feel
harder.
like a
Hustle
failure.
harder.
No, but now we feel like a failure. But it's like, yo, this is what I want to do, and I'm gonna do it. And it's like when we put our mindset to it, because we may not be in the right position to get there at that time. So once we get to that position, then it's like, okay, I'm gonna go get it.
Well,
And most guys are gonna go get it when they ready to go get it.
well,
That was so
that sound too close to you talking about it in general. Well, I know we just talking about love here. We just talking about when it come to love and relationships and stuff. Men don't move on it, like he said. It's true. We can't explain this type of stuff, man. We don't
So
move
that whole
off.
phrase, like
Huh?
they know they want to marry you when they first meet you, blah blah blah. All that's BS.
Well, but see, this the confusing part though. This is the confusing part. When a man meet a woman, when anybody meets somebody, they know what they want from them when they first meet them. When a man, but I'm just speaking about men now. When a man meet a woman, he knows what he want from that woman within the first conversation. Maybe he know what he want from her, because like in the beginning stage, when you talking to somebody, like if I walk up to you at a gas station, our first interactions, we already catching vibes from each other. I'm already seeing what type of woman you is a little bit. You seeing what type of man I am by the way I approached you, and by the way I approach you, how you respond to me lets me know how you are. Because I've approached women. Some women give me their number fast. They don't even give me their name or none of that type of stuff. And then I've approached women who made me work for their damn number. They made me have a conversation with them before they give it a number. Like, that's crazy. Like, we already know what we want from you when we first meet you. So that whole marrying thing, I don't know about that, but we do know what we want from you. We may know we want you, but we have a hard time committing at the same pace that y'all want to commit.
So I got a question. With that being said, and I hope I know we're kind of getting off subject a little bit. If you know what you want and you're not in a hurry to get there, but you're still like going on dates with the woman, contacting the woman, communicating, but you're not establishing we're in a relationship. We just kind of, you're not really saying anything.
Yeah.
So, I mean, do y'all stop to think what kind of mindset that puts the woman in? Like,
I mean, we know that
communication. I mean, it's like you have to communicate it, and it's on both sides for us. How the guy's feeling and how the girl or woman is feeling as well.
Okay, so let's say that. That's okay. Give you an example. Okay, you dating somebody, let's say about 8 months. We're in a relationship, but we're doing relationship kind of stuff. We're hanging out, we're going around each other's family members, we're doing this, we're doing that. Are you telling me that man knows what he wants?
Well, see, this the thing though.
Yes, absolutely.
But this the thing though. I ain't even gonna lie. Some men get comfortable with that, and they know that as long as some men are comfortable with getting all of that stuff, knowing that they don't even have to let you know that it's a title. You see what I'm saying? Gotcha. Like if we doing all this for 8 months and I still haven't told you what we are, and you still haven't asked me nothing about that, I'm gonna let that continue. And until, you know what I'm saying, you probably say something. Men don't, but we get comfortable sometimes with stuff. That's a lot of them, but some of them really do come up to you like, yeah, this, you know what I'm saying, we this, we that, you know what I'm saying? Some of us do that. But
yeah, and then but I also will say a guy, let's say like 5 months to a year. I like to say 5 to 9 months. A guy is going to know if it's like been constant interactions with the same person. They're going to know how they feel. If it's a chick who they just want to be smashing, and I'm mad that I'm the first person to bring up smashing, but that's what it is. But if it's somebody that they see more than that, then he's gonna like pursue it on a different level, and his actions is gonna show that. But if it's somebody like, all right, look, man, you just don't. I mean, I hate to phrase it like this, but if you just a piece of ass, that's just what it is, and that's all it's gonna be. Sadly, that's what it is, and that's where a lot of people fall into these fake relationships where it's like, no, man, this dude, you just an easy piece of ass.
Yeah, and a lot of look, all men are territorial. So as if they know that something that they if they know that they have something, if they know another man can potentially take something from them, that's that's when they're gonna that's when you're gonna get the answers that you're looking for. That's when
Facts.
that's when you're gonna get the answer you're looking for. Because
Yeah.
we want that the one thing men don't like is when another man take what we have.
Yeah.
That's what we don't
Because
like.
So
because if
females
it's
are
something that I value,
females property.
no,
No.
come on, man, don't make it seem like that. Because you making us seem real
That's
grimy and
what it
dirty.
sounds like y'all just
No.
said.
It's just
Nah.
saying if it's something of value, if I see that it's something of value and it means a lot to me, I'm going to do everything I can to protect that and keep it for myself. If I see that it's anything of value, versus if it's like, man, you just whatever. I'm like, okay, cool. I ain't even worried about it. But it's of value. I'm keeping this to myself.
So
I
how do
don't
you
want
know
anybody.
when it's time to be loyal? How do you know when it's time to be
How-
loyal to the person?
You just feel it. It's like it's something that changes inside of you where your actions are different, you think different. It's so many different things that you change, like your day-to-day routine changes. And I can't say exactly what it looks like because every guy is different, but you just feel different about it. And you just know. When you know, you know. And it's in here and it's in here.
Just put it like this: men have a hard time showing y'all. Men have a hard time showing emotions. Y'all really have to pull that shit out of us. Like y'all really gotta ask us certain questions and get us
What's
to
the
say
questions?
certain.
Let me,
No, I
let
know,
me
but
write them
no.
down. What's the question?
I'm just saying, like-
Tim, we can't give out all the secrets tonight. But the thing is, I know if a guy feels comfortable talking to you about some like deep emotional stuff, that's how you know, like, okay, he really,
Oh yeah,
he might
no
not
doubt.
tell me he care about me, but he cares about me because he's
I'm
sharing
pulling the
certain
flag
things about me.
on that one. That's some BS.
No, it's not. See, but no, because you got some dudes that'll fake it. You can fake it just like women can fake it, but we're not gonna talk about that.
Yeah.
Say what now? Back
I mean,
that up
how
right
would you
quick.
know? How none. So what?
Chris.
Nah,
You have a lot of
and Michelle, what's the next question?
You have a lot
Come
of
on, man, we're
experience
not
with
doing
that.
We
You
get
have a lot of
off the
experience.
air.
Whoa, see, what?
There, we will revisit that.
I'm saying
Hold up.
you
No,
brought
see,
up women faking
hold up.
stuff, and
No, first of all, and I hate to do this, and I hate to get off tangent, but we're not gonna let that slide by. And no, I don't have that issue.
I'm just saying you brought it up.
No, I don't have
Loyalty.
that issue.
Back to loyalty.
Thank you.
Don't lie to yourself. Be honest with yourself. Tell the truth, shame the devil. So back to loyalty. Is it in your genes? There's actual research and study that show there's some DNA strands that work towards people being more loyal than others. And we did a poll to see what some of the listeners thought, and it was a split where majority of the people thought it was both. It was genetic, but you also learn. So what do you all feel? So I'm going to start with Tim. Do you feel loyalty is something that you're genetically kind of aligned to, or is it something that you learn?
Nah, that's definitely something you learn. That's definitely not don't have nothing to do with genetics. You definitely learn that. You learn it. It has to be taught to you, or you know what I'm saying, you just have to learn it through experience on your own. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way loyalty come into you, not genetics at all.
Okay, so Tim says you learn it. What about you, Chris? That your answer, Chris? Silence? Because
Don't even like. Hold up. Now, what was that?
I said, do you feel loyalty is genetics, or do you learn it, or is it both?
I think it's more so it's learned behavior. You kind of, far as what you see, growing up, your environment, But then I think some of it can be instilled in you, but I think that's like very minor. I think it's more so if I had to break it down for us percentage, I'll say, let's say 75% learned, no, 85% learned and 15% is like in you.
Okay.
And it can change, depends on certain situations, but I think it leans more towards what you see and the environment that you grew up in, as far as the loyalty and seeing it, you're going to act different.
And Keisha, what about you? What do you think?
I think it's learned behavior, but we get to make the choice of, are we going to act on it or not? I think a lot of things are learned behavior. And when it comes down to the loyalty part, I came in contact with a gentleman who watched his granddad cheat on his grandma for years. Granddad would take him and his other little cousins to this woman's house, give them candy, money, told them not to say anything. He'd go in the house, do whatever he was going to do and come out. Happened for years. And sadly to say, I know for him it's learned behavior, because he's married now, but he's following in those same footsteps. And he can identify it, but it's just, and I think he's making the choice to do it, but he's definitely doing it. And he knows where it comes from.
And I think I'm the odd man out then, because I feel it's both. I feel that there's some behaviors and characteristics that you're born with that make it easier for you to be more loyal. And then you can, learned behavior brings the other side in. But I do think whatever your moral code is, whatever your moral compass is, if you're a person of character and integrity, I do think it's something that's both. I think it's both. But now hearing all three of you say it's learned, so are you saying that you can teach somebody loyalty? Because I think that's pretty hard.
I mean, it definitely has to come from your youth years, though. You have to know it. I mean, it's hard to teach a child loyalty, but I mean, they can always, children pick up on a lot of stuff.
What does that look like,
If they
Tim?
see, like, for example, if a child grows up, how a lot of us, well, I don't know about y'all, but a lot of people grow up in broken homes. Like they either be raised by just their mother or just their father, or they watch their mother have all these different relationships, or vice versa. When a child grow, you can tell when somebody grew up and both of their parents was married their whole life, no cheating, no none of that stuff. Father taught them how to be a man, mother showed her how to be a woman, all that type of stuff. That person will be different from a person that grew up in a broken home and seen all this crazy stuff going around them. But a person has to see loyalty, see other people being loyal to other people. Don't see no scandals, no cheating, no drama, none of that stuff. That's what it look like.
That's what it looks like.
That's what it can look like to a person learning it from youth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I'm extremely loyal, and I saw all of that, and I just felt that's not what I want for my life.
But you can also learn it. It's hard for an adult to learn how to be loyal and you wasn't loyal before. But the only way that can happen is if you been backstabbed a lot or something, or you know what I'm saying? If you've been backstabbed a lot, or you did a lot of backstabbing and you got a lot of consequences out, after each backstabbing, then you're gonna learn to keep your damn mouth shut, or learn to not fuck over people and stuff like that.
Right. So trial by fire.
Different things can happen for you to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I believe that. In circumstantial and emotional tied learning, I always tell people that's the best learning.
Yeah.
When your lesson brings tears, oh, you got it. And that's across the board. So what do you think, Keisha and Chris, can you teach somebody loyalty?
No, you got to want it. I don't think you could just, I don't think you can, well, someone who wasn't loyal before, can you teach them how to be loyal, or just?
Mm-hmm. Can you teach loyalty? If it's a learned behavior, can you teach it?
You can teach them by your reactions to them not being loyal. You can teach them as they move forward. it's kind of like a thin line between love and hate. Oh, you can teach.
Yeah.
Other than that, no. Other than that, no.
Chris?
All right, this is what I got to say. You can teach it, but when it's time to put what you've been taught into use, is it still useful? And this is something that I've been thinking about the past, let's say, year. The past year, I've been thinking about far as how I grew up and the things I saw far as relationships. Far as I grew up, I had my mom and dad, aunts and uncles who were married. They had friends who were married. I seen so many different married couples. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, I'm seeing all of these married couples. This is what I want. This is how I want things to go. This is 20, 30 years ago. When I think about it now, and let's say in the past 10, 15 years, I'm like, hey, that's what I want to go for. Things have changed so much. That doesn't, the things that work for them, it doesn't work nowadays. And I think that's what needs to be, that's what needs to be thought of, because it's things for us like the loyalty. And I don't want to get deep into certain things that I'm like, hey man, like I thought it was all right when I was growing up and I was a kid. As I gotten older and gotten into different relationships, and I've been married myself, and then I go back and look at how things were when I was growing up, and I was like, hold up, man, that wasn't really the best type of relationship. Everything looked good, but it wasn't good. So that's what I'm saying. So it's like the things that I was taught from my dad and my uncles for being a man in relationships. And then, but the thing is, the women and the girls in my age range, the things that they were being taught, even like when I talk to my sisters and female cousins, they were taught something different from the females in the family. And it's like, hold up, and it's like, and I think that's where the huge disconnect comes from nowadays. So it's like you can be taught something, but when it's time for you to put it in place, is it very useful? Is it meaningful? So if I'm going by what I was taught, it absolutely wouldn't work, and it doesn't work nowadays.
Okay, here's a question for everybody. Is it an all or nothing type of deal? Can you be a little bit loyal? He's just a little bit. Tim just a little bit loyal. He about 10% loyal. Is it all or nothing?
Well, if you know that you have a person that's just a little bit loyal in your circle, then you know where to place them in your circle and where to place them in your life. You know that you should not give them that much access to you, because if they only a little bit loyal, you don't need them that close to you. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's like you only trust this person with this certain thing. So like, let me keep you a little bit arm's length away from me, because you can't be too close to me. It's almost like, all right, I have a friend that's 100%. I have a friend that can't hold water. You put some pressure on them. You ask them questions about me, they'll tell you. So I know that you're a good person, a good friend, but I can't let you know too much, because you'll you know what I'm saying? You'll tell somebody too much. So I gotta cut off a little bit of access to me with you. You know what I'm saying? But you're not like, you never cross me. You never cross me, but I just know you can't hold water.
So would you consider that person loyal though?
That's what I'm saying. You're not loyal enough for me to have you that close to me, but you're a good person. You can be a good person, but you can't hold you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You might be flip-floppy and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah. And how about you, Chris and Keisha? Like, isn't it all or nothing for y'all?
I think it's situational. And I mean, kind of talk about what Tim said. I mean, you have to look at the individual and treat each individual person different for as how loyal you may feel that they are to you versus how loyal you are to them. Now, sometimes it might not match. Somebody may give you 30% and you're given 100%, but it's all circumstantial. So you don't really know what it is. So it's just every individual person that you come in contact with is different. And I
Okay.
know it sounds like a cop out, but it is what it
Mm-mm.
is.
Oh, I came for it. If it did, it was fine. And how about you,
Well,
Keisha?
I think for the people who's in your intimate circle, I mean, I think I definitely would look for loyalty from them and would give them loyalty. Um, that's pretty much how I feel about it. You
Like,
know?
I'm not rocking with you if you're only like a little bit loyal.
Yeah, you
Like,
gotta
I
be
can't.
all
Like, I
in.
can't. I'm a very all or nothing, and maybe that's why I find myself in situations I find myself in. But I'm a very all or nothing type of person, and I don't. And if we scale this in closer to talk about it in intimate relationships, are you going to want? And this is specifically for the two gentlemen here. Are you going to want a chick that's a little bit loyal? Like, so you guys give grace for your fellas or whomever. You can be a little bit loyal. I'll just keep you at
Well,
arm's length distance. But what about a female that you're seeing?
see, like I said, you know where to place people who have a little bit of loyalty. If I know you just have a little bit of loyalty with you, I know you ain't gonna be my girl. You
Okay,
might have another place in my life, but you ain't gonna be my girl.
got you.
You see
Okay.
what I'm saying?
And Chris, you feel the same way?
Yeah, and I feel the same way. Like I said, it's all circumstantial. So you just because I'm gonna know if I feel as though you aren't that loyal, then I'm not gonna let you get that close to me. I'm not gonna get that close to you. Now, if I put you to that upper tier and then things don't fall, then you have to kind of you might have to fall back and reevaluate it.
Okay. So now we're gonna flip the coin a little bit. We're gonna flip the coin a little bit as we getting close to wrapping this up. So we talked about loyalty being potentially genetic, but on the other side of loyalty, we're talking about cheating. And there are studies that show those wonderful studies. I'm actually going to put some of the studies in the pod description. But and this is let me put a disclaimer. This does not give anybody excuse. This is not this the next part of this conversation is not for people to take this and say, "Oh, that makes sense now. It's in my DNA." But there are studies that show cheating can be genetic. So we're not going to go too far down this rabbit hole, but I want to open it for a discussion because we try to be 100% on here. What do you say? What say ye, Tim, about that? About cheating being genetic and how there's some science backing
I
that up.
don't know. I'll say this. I'll say cheating is probably more genetic than what we discussed earlier than loyalty. You know what I'm saying? So,
Hmm.
but it's I'll say this. It can be genetic, but I feel like it's not 100% possibility that that person is going to cheat just because science say it's genetic. You know what I'm saying? That don't mean that the person is definitely going to cheat.
Yeah, they're attributing it to the thrill seeker gene. So what that looks like is the person specifically the DRD4 for my science nerds, the dopamine receptors. People who like fast cars, who like roller coasters, who like getting a high off of things, they're more susceptible to going in that space, which sucks because I'm that person.
I
So I could say the science can't be backed up 100% because I'm not a cheater. I do like race cars. I do like roller coasters. I want to jump out planes. I do have that thrill seeker gene, but I'm not trying to cheat because I don't
Yes,
have the time.
and just like okay, like I know some people who have I know of some males that have fathers that have certain backgrounds in their day, but the sons don't. Like you may have a father that have a history of being abusive, or they may have raped a few people in their day. You know what I'm saying? But the son ain't like that. The son ain't abusive, or the son ain't never raped nobody. So and those type of and you know what I'm saying? The genetics Genetics ain't always a
It's
possibility.
not, and it's only 20% of your personality, so that does go back into a majority of things are from learned behavior, but you always
Right.
have to straddle that whole nature nurture debate.
Right.
Like that's a huge debate, and we have to have an awareness of it. And I'm not saying if you have a partner who has that thrill seeking, who likes fast things and doesn't, and, likes movement and things that they're going to automatically cheat. But the science just supports that strand in the DNA can make them a little bit more likely to. But
Mhm.
what do you say, Chris and Keisha?
I think we all are open to choices. I mean, we all have choices. So, regardless of your environmental upbringing, background, you have the choice to make whether you're going to go left or you're going to go right. Now, I've seen trends amongst families where it's from cheating or alcohol and drugs or whatever, and it just continues. But I've also seen, like what Tim was saying, where one person or the grandparent or whatever may have done it, and then the children, grandkids, or whatever didn't. Sometimes it skipped generations. So I think we all have choices, and we just have to make the best choice in life.
No
So,
doubt.
Yeah, and I mean, I would say the same thing. It's all a choice. And once you get to a certain extent, now, if it's in you and you choose to go that way, you might be a little bit better at it versus if it's not in you. And I know that sounds crazy, but I mean, that's just kind of how I feel about it. Um, so just because you might see something, but if you feel as though that's not the right thing to do and you're not going to go that way or go that route, then you're just going to go different and not just saying that, oh, well, it just keeps pulling me back that way. That's not the case. It's like you're still going to make a choice to, like Keisha said, you meet that fork in the road. You're going to either go right or go left. You're going to do the right thing, or you're going to do the wrong thing. And you still choose what to do.
Right.
yeah, I think it's called being responsible too. Everybody should know, especially once you get of age. I mean, I hate to even throw an age number out there, but you know your weaknesses. You know where your strengths are. So you know if this is a situation, this is a trigger, you need to avoid this. Don't put yourself in a situation where you're going to act on act on it. So I just think we need to be responsible and be aware of
Know
what our
yourself.
strengths and weaknesses. Yeah.
Right. Know yourself. Know yourself. Do the work. And with that being said, too, as we're coming to the close up of this episode, there has to be an awareness and an honesty. Like know yourself, and I think for the most part, people are decent. If you know me off the pod, you probably would say no, she doesn't. But for the most part, I think people want to do the right thing. So just do the right thing. Like the world is rough enough as it is. You don't need to be a complete asshole and do stuff to purposely hurt other people. So, and maybe there's a DNA strand for that, but that's a whole nother episode. So, as we get to the closing of this, one thing I will note, and a nice little plug for the dark psychology, this all goes out the window when there is a diagnosis of different personality disorders from
Right.
the dark triad, right? Because the brain functions differently. And just like when we've talked about mental health multiple times, where it's just like your brain is an organ, just like any other organ in your body. And when there's dysfunction, it's not functioning correctly. So everything we're talking about here wouldn't fall in line to the episodes that we're going to be discussing, the dark psychology and psychopathology and all that wonderful ologies that you're going to be learning about. But in this regard, loyalty, for the most part, appears to be learned. For this regard, um, being a cheater, it's not genetic. Could you be more prone to it depending on what's in your DNA strand? Maybe. But everybody has a moral code, a moral compass, and we all have to be honest about what we want out of life, and who we are going to interact with to get that. So with all that being said, I'm going to throw the mic to Tim so he can let us know what amazing things, or maybe give us any secrets coming up for season 4 for Tim, or just remind everybody where to find you.
Well, like I said at the top of the episode, everybody that's listening, you can follow me on Instagram at Real Talk with Tim and Twitter at RTWT Podcast. Like I said, it's a few episodes left of my season 3. I don't have a timeline on when season 4 will start or what I'm saying, post.
Because men don't do that, right? Gotcha.
That was a good one.
I know.
But I will say this, but please go check out all my episodes, catch up. You know what I'm saying? I have like what is it, like 48 episodes total, whatever. I got 15 in season 2, like 11 in 1, and you know what I'm saying? This, I got plenty of shows out there. So please go binge listen to my podcast. I got a lot of good topics, and I'm open to collabs. And it was a pleasure. It was an honor coming on here on your show. Thank you for the invite. And yeah, I got a lot of good stuff coming.
Absolutely. Well, we'll be waiting and patiently waiting when that happens. And we definitely hope to have you back on. And Keisha and Chris, what final parting comments, statements do you have as it relates to loyalty? Wow.
Hey, do unto others as you would like for them to do unto you. So if you want loyalty, make sure you give it.
Very good. How about you, Chris?
I'm just gonna say this. Rock with people who rock with you. Like fuck with people who fuck with you. Like for real. That's like a lot of times people are dealing with people who don't like them. And that's not even like in intimate relationships, that's friendships. Just like be loyal to people who are loyal to you. Don't just have that emptiness, like you just want to be loyal to somebody and you think just because you do right by them, they're going to do right by you. That stuff don't work. Like, and
it does not.
It doesn't. And I think that's kind of where we are nowadays, where you have a lot of people that like are involved with people, intimate or non-intimate, that really don't like them, and they don't understand that because they like them. And no, it don't work like that.
Right. I agree. And I would say, kind of, and piggybacking what everybody else said, know your circle. Know who's around you. People will let you know. And don't try to explain somebody's behavior away because you are hoping to see something that's not there. If somebody's showing you their disloyalty and they've shown it once, I'm going to guarantee you they're going to show it again and again and again. So just be mindful of who's in your circle. Be mindful of how much you allow access to you. And the first sign you see somebody showing you who they are, you know what I'm saying? Like Maya said, believe them and cut your losses. So I gave her credit. I said Maya.
Yeah, I want to make sure you gave her the credit.
Yeah, if I'm a quote, I'm gonna give credit, dagnabbit.
But you didn't say the quote the right way. When
I didn't.
People show you how they are the first time, believe them. Quote the great Maya Angelou.
Oh my gosh. So again, this is gonna wrap up this episode of Through the Looking Glass. Keep an eye out on our Instagram, on our Facebook. We even have a TikTok now. We're TikToking. So make sure you follow us there as well. We'll have a link to Tim's page on our website. So www.thelookingglass.fans. So you'll get more hints as we get closer to August 8th and the release of season 4. But as always, you guys take care, stay safe, be well.